Hi guys. Okay, so this week the book was really meaty and had a lot of issues in it that we haven't really had a chance to discuss up until this week. So aside from it being a private investigator, um, which we really haven't seen to this extent up until now, because with Scent of Raining Lightning it was non-experts figuring out, it was like the victims' families, and then with Lush Life it was the police procedural. Maltese Falcon, obviously Sam was a private eye, but it was really old school, so it was different content and had that kind of sexy, glamorous feel to it. And so this week was really something. And I wanted to talk about a couple of the themes that we have been talking about in our discussion forums, but that had real personal impact for me, and that was kind of my aha for the week. With the Iraqi veterans and the post-traumatic stress syndrome, we have a nephew who is recently back from his 4th deployment in the Air Force, and some of the things that he has seen and gone through in his very young age. He joined when he was 18, he's now 25 and just got out of the Air Force and is readapting to civilian life. We saw a very different man come home than the boy who left. And we have been dealing with that as a family, trying to figure out how best to readapt him to this world. And you don't realize the extent to which they are affected unless you know one personally, or in this case can read about one, and what Chad went through and his friends, and what Allie was put through while she was there. That was a topic that really hit home. So I was very impressed with Sarah Paretsky and her ability to put that into the book and really dig deep into it in a way that wasn't blatant, but it was certainly something that you dug out of it. And that was really a home run for me this week. The other motif that I wanted to talk about was the homosexuality within the book, and with Allie and all that she went through, and with Karen or Franny, the body artist, and then Nadia trying to get it all figured out, and her family's reaction to it, and all of that is another thing that we've been through in our family. My husband has a cousin who recently came out, and when she wanted to have her wedding with her girlfriend, the community that they live in, and the family and friends of them, seeing the way the reactions came through was really something that you had to process. And we haven't talked a lot about it in our family, but I saw the way people judged them and hurt them, and that's another issue that Paretsky really digs into in this book. And when we're talking about these issues and societal issues and everything in our discussion posts, again, I think unless you have something like that going on in your personal life or in your community, it can be kind of hard to grasp onto it and feel it to such an extent. Maybe not. Maybe those of you who haven't dealt with either of those issues, it was really something that you were able to dig into as well. So that was just a really, it was a really moving week for me reading the book. I found myself thinking about it a lot. I didn't realize quite to the extent that I processed the book, but when I was talking to my husband about it last night, I was almost reciting word for word whole sections of the book, and we talked about whether or not you can do that when you're reading it, or whether you're more impacted by it when you're seeing it on television or in film. I don't think that maybe you process it deeper by reading it or watching it. I think you just process it differently. And for me, it really got my brain going. And I really enjoyed Sarah Paretsky. I'm not usually a fan of this type of book, I didn't think. But this book really has me wondering what other things she has to offer. So I think I'll be picking up another one. So I hope you guys had a great week. Just a heads up, I'm having surgery on Thursday. Tore up my shoulder and have to have it all fixed up. So I am going to try to get ahead on Fearless 14 and do most of my posts ahead of time. So if you see them in there, just, don't read them until you're ready. But I just wanted to get ahead.